All right, deep divers. Frankenstein.
Ooh, okay.
Oh, no, I know a classic, right? You've probably read it, maybe
Yeah.
even analyzed it back in school.
Yeah.
But trust me, we're going deeper than just surface level today.
Yeah. Yeah.
We're going to take a deep dive into those like early chapters of Victor Frankenstein's life
Okay.
and uncover just how those very formative years
Yeah.
really kind of shaped this whole monstrous tale we all know.
Yeah, what's so often overlooked is like those early details, those like
Right.
almost like insignificant moments of childhood. They really hold the key to understanding everything that follows.
Yeah, it's like Mary Shelley hid a treasure map for us in those pages, and we're here to
So
decipher it.
I love that.
Specifically, we're focusing on chapter 2, where, young Victor's personality really starts to kind of come alive on the page.
Absolutely.
And right away, Shelley introduces us to this fascinating dynamic.
Yes.
Victor and Elizabeth, right?
Right.
Two kids seemingly on these parallel paths.
Yeah.
That couldn't be more different.
Totally. And that's such a clever narrative move, right? Like from the get-go, you have this contrast.
Yes.
Because it's in those differences that we really start to, I think, understand the core of who Victor is.
Yes.
And what might even drive someone to such extremes.
Exactly. So on the one hand, you've got Victor, intense.
Oh, yeah.
Consumed by this thirst for knowledge.
Yes.
Obsessed with unlocking those secrets of heaven and earth,
Yeah.
as he puts it.
It's not even just knowing how things work. It's got to be the why behind it all.
It's the why, yes.
It's more...
He needs to know.
Yeah, yeah.
He has to.
Like core.
And the language that Shelley uses to describe him, even at this young age,
Oh, it's so deliberate.
that thirst for knowledge, the desire to divine,
Yeah.
it all points to this level of intensity that even in childhood borders on obsession a little bit.
Totally.
And it makes you wonder, like, have you ever felt that pull
Oh, yeah.
towards a subject or a question, that burning desire to understand something so completely?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Even if it meant maybe going against what other people thought was best.
Oh, totally. Or like had a different take on it.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. And, and let's not forget, Victor's interest in all of this isn't exactly encouraged by everyone around him.
That's very true.
Think about his father, for instance.
Oh, yeah, Dad.
When Victor, so excitedly, shows him a copy of Cornelius Agrippa's work,
Right.
remember his reaction.
Oh, I can practically hear the like parental sigh.
Yes. Sad trash.
Oh, come on.
Calls it
Classic dad move, right?
like trying to steer your kid towards something.
A little less, yeah.
A little less.
A little less out there.
A little less occult. A little less,
slack.
But
But well-intentioned, perhaps.
as we so often see,
Yes.
sometimes forbidding something only makes it that much more appealing and alluring,
100%. It's like the ultimate forbidden fruit syndrome. Like the more you tell someone they can't or shouldn't know something.
The more they become obsessed with uncovering it.
Yes.
Right.
Totally.
And it's like that dismissal from his father almost pushes him further down this path of seeking knowledge
Right.
from these more like questionable sources.
Right. And it's interesting because you see this pattern repeated throughout the novel, this like tension
Yes.
between these older, more arcane ways of thinking
Yeah.
and then the emergence of like modern science, right? So you have Agrippa, who's representing this like outdated, almost alchemistic view of the natural world.
Right.
But then you have Victor's fascination with electricity, right?
Yeah.
After witnessing something as like powerful and awe-inspiring as a tree being struck by lightning.
Yes, it's a juxtaposition.
It is.
Because on one hand, he's drawn to the mysteries of the ancient texts, like that forbidden knowledge.
Yeah.
But then on the other hand, he's also seeing the raw power of nature.
It's true.
And that sparks a whole other level of curiosity
Yeah, yeah.
about the forces at play in the universe.
Right. And this like back and forth that we see,
Yes.
it really mirrors, I think, a central conflict within the story overall,
Okay.
which is this inherent danger
Yes.
of unchecked ambition when we're dealing with forces that maybe we don't fully comprehend.
Okay.
And it's something that I think is so relevant even today.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Right. Like how far is too far?
Right.
When does curiosity become dangerous?
Exactly.
And Victor's story, I think, really makes you question those boundaries.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not just his like thirst for knowledge that Shelley reveals in these early chapters.
Really?
Remember Elizabeth?
Right. We talked about how different she is.
Yes. Totally different.
Yeah. She's drawn to beauty in the natural world,
Yeah.
finding solace in poetry and art,
Right.
where Victor is driven to like dissect and really understand. Elizabeth observes and appreciates.
Right.
She seems to find this sense of peace and joy
Yes.
in just experiencing the world around her.
Yes, and it makes you wonder, like, have you ever noticed how different perspectives like that can coexist?
Oh, absolutely.
Even thrive within a relationship?
Oh, yeah. It's like that idea of harmony, even in difference.
Right.
And Shelley really highlights that.
Yes.
Between young Victor and Elizabeth, despite these contrasting natures,
Yes.
it speaks to that power of understanding and acceptance,
Yes.
even when you have these stark differences.
It's a beautiful thought.
It is.
It makes their relationship that much more tragic,
Right.
knowing what we know is going to happen. But
Right.
there's this one passage
Yeah.
that always just gets me,
Okay.
where Victor talks about shifting his focus away from natural philosophy
Okay.
to mathematics.
Right.
And he calls it a suggestion of the guardian angel of his life.
Ooh, that line. It always gives me chills.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's like,
It's almost as if Victor himself
yes.
recognizes that moment as this profoundly significant moment, like
Yeah.
a fork in the road, where he could have gone a totally different way.
It's like he knows.
Yeah, he's looking back.
He's looking back.
With almost this sense of regret, realizing he could have listened to that suggestion, that whisper of a different fate.
Yes.
And instead, he actively chose the path that led to the creation.
It's crazy.
Right.
And that's what makes it
It's like
such a
powerful foreshadowing.
foreshadowing.
Yes.
Because she's not just telling us a story, right?
No.
She's letting us get inside his head.
Yes.
Experience his internal struggle. Understand the weight of his choices.
Which makes him such a more compelling character.
Totally.
Right.
He's not just
this mad scientist.
this like cardboard cutout mad scientist.
Right.
Right.
He's an actual human.
He's a human.
Grappling with ambition and curiosity and
the weight of his actions.
It's just actions. And by doing that, by giving us that intimate look into Victor's world, even as a young person.
Yes.
It forces us to ask some hard questions.
Yes. Like, where do we draw the line?
Where is that line?
Between ambition and dangerous obsession.
Right. And who is ultimately responsible when our creations, whether they're literal or metaphorical, spiral out of control?
Because we've all had those moments, right?
We have.
Where you feel that pull.
We do.
You want to know more?
We want to push boundaries. We want to
explore.
Explore, experiment.
Yes. And that's what makes Frankenstein so timeless.
Absolutely.
Because it's not just horror. It's like
a reflection of our own humanity.
Yes.
Like our own desires, our potential for both creation and destruction.
It's both.
It's both.
Like Frankenstein is almost like it's about the monsters we all have inside us a little bit.
Ooh, that's a powerful way to put it. And it makes me think about another detail about Victor's childhood.
Okay.
That often gets kind of overlooked. Okay.
Remember how even as this young boy, he's just captivated by this idea of the mysterious soul of man.
Oh, right. Yeah, he's not just interested in how it works. It's the essence of what makes us human.
Yes, exactly.
That's what he's after.
He wants to know.
Yeah.
And when you connect that to his later actions, to his attempt to create life, it adds a whole other layer, right?
It does.
In the story.
It's like Frankenstein becomes more than just this, like, be careful story.
Right.
It's not just don't play God.
Right. It's not just a morality tale.
It's more a meditation on what it means to be human.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It is. It's like what makes us tick.
Yes. What makes us who we are.
What gives us our identity.
Yes. 100%. And it makes you wonder, right?
Yeah.
Like, is it that desire to understand ourselves, that quest for knowledge?
Right.
Is that what's dangerous?
Right.
Or is it how we go about it?
That's the question, isn't it? Like, is it how we handle it? The responsibility.
And the book doesn't give us the answer.
It doesn't.
And I think that's part of what makes it so powerful and so enduring.
Yes, exactly. And so for anyone listening, if you're about to reread it, or maybe even dive in for the first time, really pay attention to those early parts.
Yes, those little details.
Yes, because it's not just backstory, it's everything.
They're not just like setting the scene, they are the key.
They're the key,
to understanding the deeper meaning of everything that's going to happen.
100%.
Right.
And, within those seemingly small moments, those little details of his childhood,
right?
Shelley's exploring all these bigger ideas.
She is.
That we're still grappling with today.
Right. To this day, absolutely.
Ambition.
Yeah.
What it means to want to know something you're not supposed to know.
Oh, the allure of forbidden knowledge.
Yes, and what comes with that.
Yes.
That responsibility.
Right.
To ourselves, to humanity, when we try to understand ourselves and the world around us.
It's that pursuit, that constant pursuit.
100%. It's a reminder that sometimes those monstrous creations, they're not made in a lab.
It's true.
They're made right here.
They're made within.
Yeah, in the heart, in the mind.
Yes. And that's a deep dive.
That is a deep dive.
Worth taking.
It sure is.